The government is to consider whether or not those who paid a large amount of stamp duty for their homes should be exempt from a new property tax. A group set up to advise on the new tax and to recommend who should pay it and who should be exempt is expected to issue its report shortly.
We need a revolution! Hogan, here we come! Hogan, here we come! Hogan, here we come!
From Roscommon in the Kinney closed my A&E last year. He wanted my vote, and now he's finished with me forever.
The post treacherous, collaborative government against the cuts in this country. They've taken 175 million out of public expenditure and expect us to pay out unsecured bondholders. This is the end of our austerity of this country, and we will stand and we will fight to the very end.
The €100 household charge has proved to be controversial, but it's soon to make way for a new property tax next year, which the government says will be more equitable. One of the options the coalition is set to consider is whether those who bought their house during the boom years and paid stamp duty should be excluded for a time from the new tax.
Oh, we're on the road for contention and we're here to fight against this unjust household tax. Andy Kenny and Gilmore need to rethink what they're doing.
I'm against austerity. How dare this government try to tax my family home? I won't pay.
Well, just to support really, because we're not paying the tax.
So who could benefit? Those who bought a house in 2006 for €240,000 paid around €8,000 in stamp duty. A €500,000 home came with a €30,000 bill for the tax. €33,000 was paid on properties which cost €600,000. The current stamp duty rate is 1% for homes under €1 million.
I'm not in favour of that house tax on old age pensioners.
Hogan, hear us loud and clear!
We don't want your home tax! I went on the march because it's a show of solidarity about how this tax is unfair, it's wrong, and it ought to be changed and changed fast.
We're out, we don't want this house tax, we don't want this austerity tax put on us, we don't want to pay this tax. To pay the bondholders, we don't want to...
Clear message from the rural areas that we will not accept any household tax imposed by a government who have mismanaged the economy, who have continued the same policies of austerity as Fianna Fáil and the Green Party before them. And we have decided to come in our numbers from Wexford and Donegal, from Tipperary, from all over the country, to send that message to the Fine Gael Ardèche today.
Those in the mortgage industry say they would welcome such a move to help those who bought at the peak.
There's no doubt that you're going to have to bring in a system that's deemed by the public to be fair. Some relief will have to be provided to people who paid an awful lot of money in stamp duty.
The wife and children of Sean Quinn face bankruptcy proceedings, with the bank claiming they owe more than €2 billion. The tycoon, who was once Ireland's richest man, was declared bankrupt at the High Court in Dublin on Monday. He racked up debts of €2.8 billion in secret share deals in former rogue lender Anglo-Irish Bank during the Celtic Tiger boom. Before his fall, Quinn's interests included cement, glass and property, and Quinn Insurance, which was the cash cow of his empire before it was put into administration in March 2010.
Good evening. Tonight I'm taking the opportunity to speak to you directly on the challenge we face as a community, as an economy and as a country.
I think the household charge is ridiculous. It's going to increase to over 1,000 and it's absolutely ridiculous.
Unite affiliated to this campaign from the start. We said don't register, don't pay. The threats came out from the government, going to be fining people, attacking people at the bottom. We're saying send the bill to the people who are rich and powerful and who destroyed this country, not the people at the bottom.
I know this is an exceptional event, but we live in exceptional times and we face an exceptional challenge.
Here we come! Hogan! 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 Here we come! Fine Gael, you've got it wrong! Look around, we're a million strong! Fine Gael, you've got it wrong!
It's important that you know the truth of the scale of that challenge and how we are addressing it.
Fine Gael, you've got it wrong!
We have won round one. 1 million householders have refused to pay by the 31st of March.
That challenge to restore our economy, to create the environment to sustain jobs, and to look after the most vulnerable people in our society. At the end of last year, our economy was in deep crisis, and while steps to recover from the crisis have been taken, we remain in crisis today.
It isn't just about €100, though that is a lot of money to a lot of people. It's against the disaster of austerity. If you take money out of the economy, you lose jobs. People emigrate. The situation gets worse. We have to take a stance against the tax and against austerity.
We have discovered, and we knew it already this week, with Mahon, that the entire political culture of the establishment in this country is rank, rotten to the core.
Around 240 householders in the Balmain complex in North Dublin may have to temporarily move out of their homes because of fire safety defects. It's estimated that 25% of Balmain's apartments and duplexes are lacking a layer of fire insulation. Stanley Holdings said that repairs will take 3 or 4 days for each apartment. A number of residents evacuated from nearby Priory Hall because of fire safety concerns there were given temporary homes in Balmain.
James Connolly said that it was the people who ended slavery, the people who brought democracy, the people who gave us the right to be in unions. He said, all hail to the mob, the incarnation of progress, and that is what you are here today.
Residents of a North Dublin apartment complex have been told their homes are unsafe to live in because of fire safety concerns. Dublin City Council has informed owners and tenants in nearly 200 apartments that they may have to leave and join the housing list.
People paid €250,000 for a 2-bed apartment in Priory Hall. Now Dublin City Council says they're completely unsafe, primarily because of a lack of fire protection in the walls. John and his girlfriend are paying a mortgage on their apartment. Now they've been told they might have to go on a housing list.
Stuck here, well, my girlfriend's pregnant. I bought this 5 years ago, thought everything was safe. We were told everything was safe. The fire and health safety was okay. But apparently it's not now, and as we heard, we might have to move out here and we don't know what to do.
There's no insurance on these buildings now because of the fire officer's report.
The last thing we need is to be evicted, because this will literally be just left to rack and ruin, and nobody will ever look after it again. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I think we need to put the heat back on the people who are responsible. The only truly innocent people are the owners here.
The apartments were already having problems with damp, electrical and gas installations, as well as ongoing breaches of fire regulations.
I've put every penny I had into this place and I've nothing now and nowhere to go. And that's the honest to God truth. I worked all my life.
Dublin City Council says it cannot comment on the situation as legal action is imminent. John Currain, RTÉ News, Dublin.
But those opposed to any property tax said such proposals show the coalition is panicking.
I don't think people are going to buy that. People know that they've paid huge stamp duty. They know that this is another tax on low to middle income people, on our elderly, etc. And I think people are just not going to buy into it.
Government sources today stressed no exemptions have yet been signed off on, but senior government figures have said there should be an acknowledgement that those who bought during the boom paid very high stamp duty bills.
A Department of the Environment spokesperson said today the report from the group set up to advise on the new property tax will be finalised next month. It will recommend who should pay the new tax and who should be exempt.
Ultimately, though, it will be a matter for the Cabinet to decide who pays and who doesn't. Conor Hunt, RTÉ News.
I'm an Irish mammy. You can't be an Irish mammy. I want to know, how on earth did I break the law by not being able to afford the household tax?
As I walked down O'Connell Street with this fine bunch of people, I wondered what would James Connolly in 1916 have said about this government. He would have said, rise up and rebel and refuse to pay.
We're informed to close our stores immediately and spend the rest of the week packing up contents of stores so they can be shipped back to the UK.
household tax is an example of the Irish government robbing from Peter to pay Paul. Part of the reason the government is raising money in this fashion from the taxpayer is because they're allowing large foreign business to walk away with profits and assets when they abandon their employees.
I've been homeless for 2 years now. I lost my job because of the cutbacks my company had to make, and I blame this government for that. I couldn't pay my rent, so they kicked me out in the streets. We're conditioned to be more scared of the homeless man on the street than the man in the suit, and yet the suits are the ones that robbed us blind. They're the enemy. They're the curse of this nation, not people like me.
All we want to know is, what did we do wrong?
And I'm not paying the €100 household tax. €100 might not mean much to you, Enda, but to me it's 5 weeks' electricity bill or a week's grocery bill.
I want to see a crowd like this celebrating May Day and celebrating the fact that we have binned this tax and that we will bin the austerity and that we will join with our brothers and sisters in Greece, in Spain, in France.
We've taken all the crap that's been given to anybody, and I think we've taken more than enough. Today's march was the people doing what we're supposed to do, and what we've taken too long to do is get up and get out, be seen and be heard.